pictograph here that people call the Red Lady. Look how deep this hole is. This is so old. I can't believe how that looks like a snake. That's so cool.
Amazing.
I'm at what's called the Red Lady Equinox Cave in the Mojave Desert. And I thought I would just tell you a little bit about the people that are associated with this cave. It's the Chemehuevi. Now, the Chemehuevi are Uto-Aztec in origin, which means related to the majority of the people from the ancient Southwest. The Four Corners area, Southern California, down Mexico border and down into Mexico. As time progressed, people moved in from other regions. We get different language groups, but the oldest group of this region is the Uto-Aztecan. And from there we get the Paiute, and the Southern Paiute are the people, I guess you would say, Utah, Western Utah area, Southern Utah, and then the Mojave, they start moving. The Southern Paiutes start becoming the Kawaii and the Chemehuevi, and that's kind of how they bleed down. They traveled in small bands, nomadic people. Again, because they're nomadic, they're not here every single day grinding and grinding and grinding. When you see a mortar hole this deep, you have a small group of people grinding away at this. This would take thousands of years to create. They didn't call themselves Chemehuevi. That's a name given to them by the Mojave. They actually called themselves Nuwuwu, which means the people. And all people call themselves the people. All people of native origin have a word for themselves that means the people. So they're all the people, la gente.
That people call the Red Lady. If it's a lady, she appears to be wearing a dress. And I would say that means that this is from historic times, because natives here, the Chemehuevi, would not have worn dresses. They would have mostly been naked. If it is not a lady, it could be a spirit being with a long, elongated body. And if that's the case, then this could be older than historic times. So we've got the Red Lady over there, which, by the way, I don't think is a lady. And right next to it is this panel, which is actually really fascinating me. I have been laying here on my belly in the dirt looking at this for a few minutes, kind of trying to take it all in. This is some kind of defined universe, right? There's this area looks like water damage to me, kind of like what's over here. Over there in that hole, there's definitely smoke. And charcoal, the smoke stain looks different than water stain. This looks like a water stain, but I don't know, there could be some smoke there too. Anyway, this is natural on the rock. It's not paint. So it's some kind of defined universe. And then within that universe, you've got these figures. It's like an eye shape, and here a cross or T shape, and this with some kind of like legs are raised at the bottom. And then this red is dots. I thought maybe at first it was some lines that had eroded away, but I'm seeing it more closely, and it's speckled dots, tiny little dots bursting out of this area, and they extend all over this, not all over, they kind of go up here a little bit. They mostly kind of go diagonally out this way. And then there are some fainter images down here, kind of like what you might describe like trees or, something growing up. This is clearly telling some kind of story. I mean, to my eye, what I see is something like a dark sky, maybe something like the Milky Way or some burst of light, maybe constellations. I guess that would make sense too if that's the case, because we're in a cave where this is what the ceiling looks like. Up there, we've got the sky, we've got the constellations, right? And we've got this burst of light that's going to come through here, this direction, and land right there. That's what I can tell from what the shadows are doing. Okay, so this is the angle of the cave. This is the angle of the painting. You see, it's kind of mirrors a little bit where the You've got the angle of the constellations, if that's what they are, and then this burst of light that's going to flood in to the darkness of the cave. Well, our little cave is over there, and on this boulder, there's something here too. So I look at this, and it's got the crosshatches down over a round vessel, and here's another one like that too. And over here on a different rock in a different little alcove, we got another crosshatch pattern. Oh, you're hearing the other people who came to see the equinox. What? So it's unrelated, but I think kind of maybe related, okay? Recently was found a 70,000-year-old artifact that was some crosshatches made with a red oxide crayon, and they were painted over a cleaned bowl. So imagine a bowl surface was used to grind up the color, then cleaned off, and then with this crayon written the crosshatches, lines across the bowl. Now, these marks are also found on ostrich shells. This was in South Africa. Modern ostrich shells are still used for vessels, and these same crosshatches are still painted on them. And so I just have been thinking about this a lot lately, and I think that maybe I think it has something to do with the interactions of circles and lines, having to do with manifest meeting the unmanifest. It's kind of this philosophical idea, because it repeats in ancient civilizations all over the world, the idea with the circle and the line. And if you take something that's female, which is essentially circular, or a bowl, and then you cross it with lines, you're imitating creation. You're making something unmanifest into manifest. It's the root of geometry and creation in general. So this is just a thought. I'm just kind of sharing a little side piece of information, but also maybe just a little thought experiment about taking circles like this and crossing it with a line. And the same thing over there, where this bowl in the ground is going to be crossed with the line of the sun being male and the bowl being female. It's not sex reference, it's a creation reference. It's big picture cosmology kind of reference.
This is the pre.
This is September 21st, 2018. At about what time is it, guys?
No, it's 12:55.
12:55. Fall equinox.
This is impressive.
Amazing. Absolutely
It's
amazing.
interesting. It's a different shape.
It is a
in
different
the-
shape.
in the spring.
It is.
What shape is it in the spring?
It's just no, it's subtle. Okay.
It's thinner? Is it thinner?
Well, in the spring, it started out, 5 feet
It started
further
back
back.
there, yeah.
Yeah.
Sun gate is going to open.
Yes.
We will cross the chasm.
Oh God, you're the people I have to go to heaven with?
It's just another dimension. honey.
Actually, it's a pleasure. I could think of worse. If we were better people, we'd have instruments and we'd be chanting and hugging each other, but we're not even looking at it. We're looking at it through the lens of
It's pretty close.
Steve Jobs' eyeballs. The equinox, it split it in half. Look, half is light and half is dark.